What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Don Rico from the Imperial Empire. Just wanted to take a break real quick to have a conversation with y'all. This video is primarily dedicated to those of you who is going through the in-between, who's in a transition period, who's in that phase of where you're between the old life that you used to live, but you're not yet ready for the new one that you are destined or you're on your way to reaching. Listen. Endurance is key, persistence is key, and I want to actually explain something to you, because obviously you can't quit, because if you do, you're going to go back over there and they're going to laugh at you, because you could have been somebody, you could have been something, and they're in their minds are like, yeah, I knew he wasn't going to make it, yeah, I knew she didn't have it in her, etc. And listen, I want to emphasize something to you guys, to whoever is watching this. You have to remember that you're running your own race. You can't be so concerned about what this person is doing and what that person is doing. And I heard once before that comparison is the thief of joy or whatever, right? You only usually should compare if you're trying to benchmark something specifically. If not, you really shouldn't compare your progress to somebody else's, because somebody else is running a different race and they're on a different life trajectory path. It's not going to be for you, because it's not your path. It's not your race to run. You have to run your own race. Don't be so concerned about what should have been, what should have happened, what should have been said, what you should have done. The fact of the matter is, you're here right now, and you're here right now for a reason. You're here because you are running your own race. You're in the transition phase. You have moved away from your old life and you're about to reach your new one, but you're not yet ready for your new life. There are people waiting for you in your new life, but you're not ready to meet them yet, because you're not yet the person that you need to be. In this transition period, you're going to a fine-tuning phase. You're transitioning. You're going to a fine-tuning phase, you're transitioning, and you need to understand something. You're becoming the type of person who can actually be in the same room as the people who you're supposed to be in the rooms with and you're supposed to meet. There's a whole nother life that's waiting for you, but you have to go through this fine-tuning process. You have to go through a pruning phase. You have to go through a developmental phase. And it's not going to be easy. And if it were easy, then let's be clear and let's be honest. You wouldn't even enjoy it once you actually got there. And it wouldn't feel right to you. You need to continuously endure. You need to keep pushing. I cannot stress this enough. And you have to put yourself out there that's going to make and do things that's going to make you uncomfortable or feel embarrassed. There's a humiliation ritual element to it, but that is to kill your ego so you can actually refine yourself, fine-tune yourself, and so you can actually continuously build true self-confidence. Because let's be clear, most people, like, you can check it out in my own content when I'm walking around and I'm talking to the camera and there are people all around me. I'm being dead ass. You can just check out all of my content. And I do this to be the example. And also I'm doing it to document myself actually putting myself through the paces as well. And yes, at first it is uncomfortable. But once you get in your zone, you actually start having a conversation. Nobody really cares. Nobody's really checking for you like that. As a matter of fact, if anything, they'll be surprised. And if they do say something to y'all that you don't like, understand something. You're doing something that they themselves are afraid of doing. And I'm not just talking about in content creation or just talking to a camera. I'm talking about life. When you're elevating, when you're leveling up, when you're becoming a different version of yourself, parts of your old self and your old ego is going to have to die. When you're going through the desert or a wilderness or a valley or whatever the in-between is, understand something. You're going through a process to which your old self, your old ego, your old habits, your old ways, the old people that you used to hang around with that you've outgrown, everything of that nature is slowly but surely going to begin to die off. And again, I have to reiterate this because this is very important. It's not because they're bad people. As a matter of fact, and this is going to be hard for a lot of you guys to wrap your heads around and actually do. A lot of you guys, I'm just going to be honest, you're stifling your own progress because you're unwilling to let go of the certain people in your life that you know you need to let go. Maybe it's because you've been friends with them for years, but you know that they're detrimental to your growth. You know that they're not able to be in the same rooms as the rooms that you're trying to get into. You know that you've outgrown them. You know that they have lifestyles, behavior patterns, etc. that you've outgrown and that's no longer aligned with what it is that you're becoming. Even in the in-between, when you're in between phases, in the transition phase, they're not aligned with you anymore because you moved away from it. It's not to say that you're better than them. You just become a different person. And that's what I'm trying to get you all to understand. And a lot of you are not going to be able to do that. And it's going to stifle your progress and you're going to be trapped in that loop for years. You have to be willing to kill the old version of yourself. That's what the wilderness is for. That's what the forest is for. That's what the desert is for. That's what the valley, the in-between is for. It is a refinement process. You asked for this. You asked to become a better version of yourself. You asked for this. You're in the process path. You can't quit now that you're in between phases. Because if you quit, you'll turn back to where you used to be and you will be laughed at and you'll be a disgrace. It's just a fact. You'll be known as someone that could have been someone but quit on themselves because they were too comfortable or they want to go back to what is familiar. That's why I personally don't understand people who don't put themselves in situations where they're actually or they experience a degree of discomfort. That discomfort is where the growth is. You're in the in-between and you're making progress. It may seem like you're not making progress, but I promise you that you are making progress. You're almost there. You just got to keep pushing. No matter what, you got to keep pushing. You're in the valley of disappointment and you're going to break through. And that's where exponential growth comes. But it comes through not quitting and being persistent. You have to stay in the fight. You have to stay in the race. You have to stay in the game. You need to keep your head in the game. Do not go back. Do not go back over there. You don't belong back to where you used to be anymore. You can't go back. There is so much greatness and light and possibility for you in the future. Life is only going to get better for you from here, but you're going to have to go through some things. That is the price of admission, and it's a price that you must pay. You cannot get to where it is that you want to go unless you're willing to pay that price. Whatever it is. Parts of your old self needs to die. You need to go through a ego death, a self death of some sort. Whether it be spiritual, whether it be mental, physical, etc. You can't go back to what you used to be. You know there's nothing there. The whole reason, and remember this, the whole reason why you're on this path to begin with is because you knew that there was nothing there to where you once were. There was no opportunity. There was no abundance. There was nothing. There's nothing for you back there. So why are you trying to go back there? Why would you want to quit? It's better to suffer in this in-between era, in this in-between transition phase, than it is to go back over there. Don't let comfort ruin and kill your progress and your momentum.